Clint Campbell here. We're in Missouri. I'm with my buddy Zach. Drove in 17 hours from Pennsylvania. Picked out this piece of public, a couple other pieces of public. We're at a river bottom today. I got in early yesterday or earlier. Managed to do just like a quick walkabout for about an hour. I've never hunted a river bottom before, so it's going to be a little bit tricky. So we're going to go out this morning and scout this north part of the timber that kind of wraps around the river. The plan is just to get a little bit of light so we can see what we're doing when we're walking in. Don't want to jump a bunch of stuff up or spook a bunch of stuff. Good temps last night, and this morning's going to be hot the rest of the week, so we probably have today and tomorrow are probably our best 2 days to try to make hay, in the classic sense of good weather. So yeah, we're just going to get after it, look for some hot sign, get into a tree, and see what happens this morning. If nothing shakes, we'll get down and pound pavement and see if we can find something. River bottom below us, and it looked like most of the guys that were hunting this property were hunting the top part. It was like, I think, a 2-mile walk to get to this spot. We found a scrape, a big rub, and then a little further down we found a scrape line, some more rubs. In this little brushy area we saw there's just a bunch of other small rubs that are in here, and the big scrape and the big rub is right behind us. And so what we were thinking is that most of these deer that are down here are likely getting pushed from the top side of the property. And we learned from some locals or some guys that have hunted this in the past that most of the bucks bed on what they refer to as the north woods, the north part of this, which is just gnarly with poison, and you can't really hunt it. But this is all kind of connected to that piece. And so it made sense that they would likely be using this, and this is the only spot on the property that we actually started finding buck sign, rubs. We found some other scrapes in places, but this is the only place where it was concentrated, where we had kind of both at the same spot. So we're set up here tonight. We've got a north wind. We've got cut bean fields on both sides of us. There's track zone, so they're obviously hitting that. We can see some beans left over laying on the ground. And our scent is blowing out into the field, so we should be clean in here. All right, so day 2 here at the in Missouri, and we had a buddy come into camp last night. Mr. Chad Sylvester showed up and joined us. He's going to get after it with us. This morning, I think I mentioned previously, there's a scrape line that's in the far north, kind of east corner of this property, and we found some really good scrapes down there. Jumped a doe out of there yesterday when we were scouting, and so we're going to head back there today. As I think I mentioned previously, that whole piece is connected to the north woods, which is where all the bucks seem to be bedded. The plan this morning is walk in there and sit that probably till 1:30, 2 o'clock, and if we don't see anything by then, get down moving and find an evening setup. Just hiked into this spot that we scouted yesterday. And there's scrapes all up and down this access trail. Unfortunately, we wanted to boat in, but the river's too low. There's an access point down there we could have used. Instead, we walked about 2 miles. And there's a bunch of scrapes that are in this general area. We jumped a doe out of this area back here near the river. So we're going to find a good tree to get into here. I'm just going to set up on these scrapes. Yesterday they were fresh. They looked like they had been tended in the last 24 hours. So hopefully something will need to come by here and freshen them up today. finally had a brief encounter. Actually, Zach saw a doe running and said there's a doe coming. And of course, this time of year, you know, does equal bucks, so shortly thereafter he came running through. Would have stuck an arrow in him, but he just slipped through. I tried to grunt at him. Wasn't loud enough, he wasn't going to stop anyway. And my grunt also sounded like a prepubescent boy on the first date. It wasn't good. So we're going to set this out a little bit longer, then we might be headed further west to a different piece that's bigger timber. A little bit more room to roam. So, hold tight, they're moving.
I worked my way north, starting in that willow thicket. On the other, I guess on the north side.
Did you go all the way down to the boat landing? Is that where you dropped in?
Well, I wanted to start there, so I parked down the road because the way that timber, where the thicket lays out, it's like kind of east to west, and it ties into a point there. And I didn't want to park down there and spook a bunch of deer because it's not very big.
Right, yeah.
So I got out of the truck, I parked several hundred yards away, and here comes a guy just ripping it down through there.
Really?
Like trying to beat me to a spot, you know?
Right.
So I hung out on the west side and then worked my way north. I found a bed with blood in it, and that's when I followed that blood trail to that buck.
Right.
And it was, I'm sure that's what was the coyotes were eating last night. So it was,
they were howling, yeah.
It wasn't like festered up or real stinky, but meat was picked off and smelled like flesh. So it was probably only a couple days old.
Right.
It
had a split right brow, didn't it?
Yeah, his right brow tine was split.
Was it 10 point?
9.
9.
9 with a split brow, yeah. Probably, I don't know, 115-inch deer. But I'm sure that's probably one of the better bucks on the piece from what I saw.
Right.
I figured there's probably 500 acres there.
Yeah.
Scouted the better part of it.
Right.
I felt like.
Well, I mean, to me, then that just kind of justifies us pulling camp and rolling, because we basically have been on the complete opposite side like the whole time, and we've scouted all that like yesterday, and then hunted it, part of it this morning, but last night and this morning. So
yeah, I think we should go.
We'll pull out and go to some ridge country where we can get into some elevation and